Yes, we're daughters of Frank Pucillo from the Pucillo farm on Marsh Hill Road in Orange. Hi, I'm Mary Pucillo-Szymanski.
I'm Janet Pucillo-Walker.
Before we talk about our generation growing up on the farm, surrounded by our family on Marsh Hill Road, we need to go back in time and tell you a little history of where and how it all began.
We're going to show you a few pictures as we go along, going back in time. Our great-grandfather, Ferdinando Pucillo, came to America from Castellamare, Italy in 1893 to New York. He sent for our great-grandmother, Antoinette Marie Volpe, 2 years later.
They purchased property on Marsh Hill Road in 1896, which was then just a one-lane dirt road, built a house, barn, and ice house, and started a dairy farm.
They had 9 children, 3 boys and 6 girls. Teresa Izzo, Catillo, our grandfather, Anna Lodgidice, Rose Bolzano, Frank Pucillo, Jenny Volpe, Mary Davidson, Francis Chaffee, and Joseph Pucillo.
Our great-grandparents, Ferdinando and Antoinette, operated a dairy and vegetable farm. After collecting milk from various dairy farmers in Orange, they brought it to Seal Test Dairy in New Haven. Vegetables from the farm were sold to market at Long Wharf and at a roadside stand for many years on Marsh Hill.
He was very proud to become a U.S. citizen in 1944.
Our great-grandfather Catillo married Virginia Dorenzo, who lived on Marsh Hill Road with her 4 brothers and 4 sisters.
Our father Frank remembers his dad telling us because they had no refrigeration in the winter, they chopped ice from the pond and filled the ice house to keep the milk cold before taking it to the dairy. The ice lasted all summer.
Our grandfather's brother, Uncle Joe, was an Orange school bus driver and volunteered in the Orange Fire Department. After marriage, he moved across the road to the old J.W. Bailey house, where he also had a dairy farm. His brother, Uncle Frank, was an airplane pilot and moved to the Boston Post Road.
Our grandparents lived at 100 Marsh Hill Road with his parents, where they had 3 sons, Frank, our dad, and his 2 older brothers, Frederick and Anthony.
Our dad and his brothers, Fred and Lee, operated Pucillo Brothers Trucking. They plowed snow for the town of Orange and for the state of Connecticut as private contractors. And then they worked for Dorenzo Trucking on Route 1, and our father became a licensed electrician.
To get back to Marsh Hill and the layout of the street, starting at the bottom of the hill, traveling up the left side. Let me see if I can get there. I can fix that. The Dorenzo family at the top of the hill, our grandmother's family. Joseph Pucillo Jr. lived next door. His brother Michael built a house between Joe's and his parents. And next to our Uncle Joe and Aunt Angie was the Farina's farm and the Salemis, all relatives.
Coming up on our side of the road, James Riccitelli, Louise Dorenzo, who was our great-grandmother's sister, then Jenny, Alex Volpe, our grandfather's sister.
Our parents, Frank and Eleanor, built their house in 1960 between my grandfather's sister Jenny and the original farmhouse. They had 4 children, our older brothers, Frank and John, and us 2 girls, Mary and Janet.
That's us.
Keep going.
There we are. Our family has volunteered in 4-H and participated in Orange events through Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Little League, Centennial floats, etc. Since 1977, we have participated in the Doodlebug and tractor pulls at the fair, where we won many trophies and ribbons and displayed antique Farmall tractors and Novo engines throughout the years. Our sons and nephews are still pulling tractors and Doodlebugs today, and our daughters and granddaughters participate in many events as well. With our parents, grandchildren beginning their involvement, we're going on 6 generations strong.
Our dad mentioned that one of his fondest memories was on Sunday after church. The family always got together at our farm to visit and get all the vegetables ready for the market. Our stand was famous for its bread and butter corn.
Once the thruway was built, the landscape on the hill changed. Traffic increased and the cinemas were built next to the Farina's farm across the street. When the movies were good, like The Godfather, The cars were backed up to Route 1, making it nearly impossible to get in and out of our own once farm country dirt driveway.
Our family sold the farm in 1984 after our grandfather passed. The cinemas expanded and moved to the farm property. After they closed, United Illuminating located there and is still there today.
Today, Marshall Road shows no resemblance of what it was, but hopefully the pictures we showed will take you back to the beginning in our wonderful heritage in Orange, Connecticut.
That is awesome. Very, very well done. So let's go back to being those kids up on top of Marshall Road when you were young. What was it like? Get up in the morning and chores or have fun? Or
We had our daily chores, earn our
Yes.
keep.
It was a lot of work.
Our grandfather, who lived next door to us and who actually lived with us a lot of the times, had dinner with us every day, taught us the
Work ethic.
Yes, absolutely.
And we've actually passed that on to our kids, and they're passing it on to their kids. So, but yes, it was always hard work, but it always it showed that it paid off. That good things came out of it.
Yeah.
Or of it, and
Yeah.
did you go out and have to work actually in the fields, picking,
Yes.
that type of stuff?
we helped our grandfather quite often.
Yeah.
He taught us how to plant. He taught us.
Yeah, we got pushed bushels and bushels of vegetables. The thing was, we didn't use a lot of the old ways as far as, bring it in on the tractors and things. We had farm cars by then. We had it a little
Exactly.
easier.
Exactly.
But there was always a tractor. The
Always.
best was riding the tractor with my grandfather.
Yeah.
And just being there helping him around, just the smell of the dirt, the
Living off the
smell of the
land.
hay when it was being baled,
Yeah.
getting our fingernails in the dirt.
Yeah.
It's missed dearly.
Having the freedoms that we had growing up is nothing like children would have today.
It's true.
It was.
Yeah.
We had our own little world.
Yeah. So were there a lot of kids up on the hill? A lot of other children that you played with, or was it?
We had our cousins.
the cousins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
and we,
Honestly, we almost didn't have time to
yeah,
do too much,
Yeah.
other than really work on the farm and just keep it going.
yeah, between school and that.
And the vegetables were always so plentiful that we.
It seemed endless. It seemed
just-
endless because we had to pick them, So it was,
Yeah, and then canning. That's where we learned to can.
Yeah.
Because we had so much, and they gave too. They gave a lot. My grandfather always thought of people and brought them vegetables that didn't have much.
And how about the dairy aspect of that? Because we were talking yesterday, and there were up to, I think, 30 dairy farms in 1930. And not all of them sold milk directly. So where your grandfather went around and collected milk
Yes.
from a couple of the
farms.
dairies and then
brought
in
it to seal test.
which is interesting, because someone is trying to collect bottles from each dairy in Orange. I said, you'll never find that, because a lot of the dairies did not have their own production.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that was very advanced, I think, for him to get into that business as well, carting it in. And how about the ice cutting? That, people don't understand, there were no refrigerators back then.
Yes.
They had their own pond that was large oval pond that was just deep enough for the blocks, and then they would cart them out and
And
put
that
them in
was
the
work.
ice house.
And that was work. They had to cut the ice. They had to cart the ice.
Yeah.
Think about all of
Yeah.
that work that goes into that no one really sees that part of it.
Exactly.
But-
Exactly.
But to, you know what? To them too, it wasn't work.
No.
It was just the
Life.
way of life, and that's how we grew up too.
Yeah.
It was fun to us doing all that, and it's missed a lot.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah. To have that today would be something.
Yeah, we wish we could definitely go back, and we can't. So you
It
don't
sure
really
doesn't-
appreciate what you have until it's gone.
And it sure
For
doesn't look
sure.
like it did back then.
No,
No.
The one lane
You
dirt
can't
road
even
to
take-
5 lanes.
can't take the grandkids for a ride to show them because they would never understand, and that's totally what these pictures hopefully
Yeah.
will tell.
Exactly.
Very
And
So-
Mary, I think you're seeing the testimony where your daughter and my nephew are carrying on with even the Christmas tree growing and
Yes.
teaching it to their daughters.
Yes, which is wonderful.
And to watch them out there in that
Yeah.
field. And
Getting their
working-
nails dirty in the
Yeah,
dirt, it's
everything
awesome. It definitely is.
But it is, it's a great way to grow up, I agree. And, and
But yeah, even I had a horse on the
Oh, yeah.
farm, and we had to, even, I'm not that old, but, you know, looking back, we didn't have all the equipment they have today. And we had to dig those holes for every post.
Put them down.
That's
You know,
true.
to put the poles in.
Mhm.
And a funny story, so after all of our hard work doing that, and it was a lot because we had a lot of land, so there on the farm, so we made it really big for the horse, so he was happy. And every morning without fail, the horse would be on the other side of that darn fence that we put in. So
Other side of the road at times too.
yeah. But
Horse is out.
but you know, we enjoyed helping and learning how to do that. So
Exactly. A lot of good skills.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of good
and
skills.
a lot of good memories. A lot of good memories.
Having both sides of the road completely family, it was just the freedom and liberty to go wherever you wanted.
Yeah.
So how did
Yeah,
you know to
there's a-
come in for dinner?
Oh, well, my dad mounted an air horn on the top of the house that my mom would push a button, and 5:30 or 5 o'clock dinner, you heard that and you came running.
Yeah. That was our dinner bell. Although they tried a bell, I think, but that wouldn't go
No,
very far.
she tried yelling, they tried
'Cause
the
when
bell.
we were out far.
Acres and acres
Because
away.
even
We
the
were-
barns were far. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh,
And even for the horse, we didn't have running water down to the barn, so I had to
Yeah.
cart water all winter, frozen.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I ended up having to pull it on a radio flyer sled, the buckets of water,
Well,
just
yeah.
to get them down there.
Oh my.
So it was always work.
Yeah.
But like we said, it was fun.
Mm.
But in the night of,
She took the hard route. I did motorcycles. She did horses.
but really, really fond memory that just is stuck in my mind forever is my grandfather's pear tree that he grew. That was next to the summer house.
Yeah.
It was huge and plentiful of pears, and my dad tied an old tire swing for us, and we lived on that tire swing, and we helped my grandpa, and at the end of the day, especially when it was extremely hot, could just still picture my grandpa fanning himself under the tree on the chair and us
Yeah.
swing on
And eating the pears.
and the pears, I still haven't found a pear today that
No.
tasted like those pears.
No.
The best.
I think it's a combination of the outdoors, the family around, and everything, and I don't think you can find that in a pear. I don't.
Very true. The love in the pear.
Yes.
Exactly.
No.
Oh, that's great. So Janet, you rode your motorcycle across the fields up there? or-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Do you have any fond memories of something that you probably don't want your parents to know about?
No. No,
No.
but we had skating. We learned how to skate on our
Yeah,
own pond.
on the pond.
In the
Okay.
backwoods.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of good memories doing that. And fishing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Frog hunting.
Oh, yeah, those big bullfrogs. You could hear those back at the house while they were loud.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and too, the school projects we had, I recall digging up red clay way near the pond.
Yeah.
And
We
you
didn't
needed
think
to
of
bring-
that. To make,
Wow.
to make a project for school.
I remember
And
that.
it was serious red clay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've never seen that anywhere else. But a lot of little things like that, yeah.
And they're great memories to have.
They are.
really are.
They are.
And it's great to get opportunities to bring those next generations to something like that so they can experience it. But it is harder and harder. As you said, you can't find any more red clay. It's
No,
harder just to find clay, period.
yeah.
You know, but that's so
To
great.
think if I had that today, make some pots. Something fun.
Oh,
So, yeah, because there's gray clay.
yes, yeah.
And it's not as, you can't just find it, a big bunch of it, so.
Oh my
but-
gosh. Wow. Anything else you can think of? No? You got a
I have a
question?
couple questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you find that anything that you learned from your parents or your grandparents you still use today? Any like life skills or just advice that you live by that you learned from them?
Yeah, we definitely respected our elders back then, which our children respect us as the same as you generations.
But you
And-
don't see that a lot today.
Yeah, and then the work ethic and the gardening and living.
Canning and-
Yeah, just growing our own gardens. We all do.
Being
Chickens,
self-sufficient.
animals. It's just trickled on. We all have the same thing.
And
we
being
may not live.
self-sufficient.
Yeah, we may not live in the same property
Yeah.
and do the same thing, but we all have that same core
And
values.
I feel, yeah, and I feel like we're okay. We'll be okay because of what we learned from them,
Yeah,
you know?
the history
Yeah,
continues.
when things get bad, I don't worry because of how we were taught. We were taught to do or do without, and we were taught we could make do with anything you have.
Mhm.
So,
It's well
Yeah.
put.
thank you.
I also wanted to ask, with your connections, you know, obviously your roots go pretty deep with Orange and your family has been around for many generations. Did you growing up have connections through that family heritage, having that in Orange? Did you know a lot of people in town from being part of a family that's been in Orange for so long?
Yes and no. I mean, we met a lot of people and friends through school.
And our extracurricular activities.
Yeah,
Boy
like
Scouts,
Girl Scouts,
all
the
that.
fair, big
The
time.
fair was a
Um,
big gathering of,
Okay.
Yep,
so
the
it's-
parade was something
Yeah.
that we will never forget because we made the float for the parade and we helped with the float. And my mom sewed and made from scratch our dresses and all four of our outfits for the parade
Mhm.
and our bonnets. And we
Yeah.
were so excited to wear them on the float. We were just so excited about that parade.
And
and we-
that's Bicentennial.
We felt so
Yeah.
That was a
important.
big
Yeah,
parade.
that was the
That
parade,
was-
and we felt so important to be up there, just waving to everyone. Like we just felt so important.
it was
so-
like it connected us to everything.
yes, yes,
That
definitely.
is awesome. That really is. You know, and people don't realize how just families back in the day, they lived together and they worked together.
We
I
did
think-
everything together, and
Exactly. It's
it's
very different.
important,
Mhm.
family, very
You know.
important.
Now you see people, you know, the kids, as they say, fly the coop, they definitely take off. And it's a very different way of raising children now from distance, long distance.
Very true.
But what a great opportunity to have everybody around you.
Yes,
I think that really is the best.
It was wonderful growing up with family all around us.
it was.
Very special.
Are a lot of your family members still around, or have some of them branched out, or some of them probably have passed since, you know, but I was wondering, like,
Yeah.
are there people still here that you, or are your children, are they here still?
We all live within maybe 15, 20 minutes of each other as far as the four kids.
We still see each other. We all work.
She
We're
lives in
workers, so-
Prospect. The two brothers and myself live in Bethany. My parents live in Bethany, so we've all stayed in the area and everything.
Awesome.
Our children are local.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Sweet.
And I get to help with my grandkids, so it's wonderful.
right, that's right, you take care of, you've got
It's
your
a lot.
daycare business.
Yes.
And so you were able to have your granddaughters, both of them.
But even though we all work, we
Yeah.
still manage to see each other and stay in touch and do
Yeah.
things holidays always. It's very important to my parents.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, and so family gathering must be quite the gathering.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
it's like just us as
38 at a
20
minimum,
now,
I think.
Yeah, it was 20. I don't know who's keep track. It's huge.
I always hear in the 30s. I'm like 38 now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it got so big. We actually had to split being married, the families
Yeah.
for birthdays because we couldn't fit them all. So unless it was outside, yeah.
That's it, that's
So.
it, on good weather, they can all
Yes.
come.
Exactly.
Oh, but it's great, it really is. I go back to the 4-H, we did the 4-H fair, we just skimmed a couple of those. Uh-oh.
What?
Is that okay, to go
I
back?
just don't
and you-
remember too much about.
You don't? okay.
No, that's
What, the
only-
4-H?
The
Yeah.
4-H
It was
fairs.
you.
I know, but I don't really remember too much.
Yeah.
More Girl Scouts, I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
All right. Girl Scouts were, and who was the leader? Do you remember the leader?
Was Mom the leader of Girl Scouts or just Boy Scouts?
She just did Boy Scouts.
When she was the leader of Boy
But-
Scouts, we went along because,
Sure.
so we were
I mean,
both.
I remember High Plains. It's funny that
Yeah, I
just kindergarten, where the kindergarten room was, and now to
Right.
just drive through there and to
Mhm.
the fair and see how different it is, and it's not there anymore at school.
Right.
That's kind of hard, but it's still there. The whole school. It's so neat for me to be able to say I went to school there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love to do
Exactly.
that to even my kids. You know, so
Oh, we heard Mrs. Cuny was a leader. Was she a leader?
I
Edith
I
Cuny?
wouldn't
No,
recall.
in
my
Girl
gosh.
Scouts? Okay.
That was quite a while ago.
Was it a few years? Yeah.
Just a
quite a
couple.
bit. Sorry.
It's okay.
Glad
Just-
you remember that.
Curious.
I just remember we had to wear our uniform. It was very important symbol
Mm-hmm.
and
Earn
those
the
badges,
badges.
and it was so much fun to do that. And I actually had my own Girl Scout group in Prospect,
Very good.
and I tried to instill all of the important things into them too. And Shirley changed a lot, but it was fun to bring back what I learned to them, and so
Exactly.
definitely passed it on, which is what
Awesome.
they were hoping. I think
Mhm,
one of us or a few of us did.
Definitely.
So yeah,
The main thing that's kept us, I know myself, being separated from Orange, is the fair.
Yeah.
And how
Yes.
my children, or my son, is completely re-involved in the fair on his own accordance. I didn't even
Love it.
bring him into
Yeah.
it, and he's completely involved with it. And it's tied us back into it, and it's just a full circle that we've all just come back to.
definitely.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
never
awesome.
felt like you left, but it
Right.
the
And-
separation, and now it's all just all returned.
And what's wonderful is just like all the tractors that were on the farm, they're
Mhm.
putting them in the fair. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not never really gone.
no,
It's still lived on
That is great.
through the fair.
yeah,
Thanks,
that's
Walt.
beautiful.
Thanks,
that's
Walt.
It, that's it.
We love
absolutely.
you.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is so true.
And the importance of volunteering there
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and
Yes.
helping as much as possible, cleaning up after. It's just
Oh,
incorporates everything.
yeah, I think that has been probably the greatest gift that, let's
The
put
town.
four people, we'll get the Ewens and the Vesputas, could have ever given to our town.
Yes, I
And-
agree.
And just,
Definitely.
Yeah.
think about that, and in all of our calendars,
Hmm.
fair weekend, you just know, fair
Yes.
weekend.
Yes.
And that's it, everybody is there for the entire
Yeah.
weekend, and it's just everybody pitching in, volunteering.
Yeah, and our dad would
Yeah.
bring his Novo engines and fire them
Yes.
up and get them running for everybody and get
The
re-involved
smell
that
of
way.
all the diesel and
Brings
just
us-
the tractors running. Yeah,
Definitely.
Yep.
you live for that.
We do.
We
And
do.
family supporting family while you're there because
Yes,
it's
Exactly.
and seeing all the families you
Yeah.
don't see anymore. That's
Right.
yeah,
Right.
that's wonderful.
Well, that's where I can see your father so clearly, is sitting there in that chair,
Yeah.
Yes.
watching that doodlebug pull. And
Yes.
there he is, he's watching that, and.
And how
jump on
proud he
him.
is that
Yep,
he's passed that
Exactly.
Yeah.
to the
exactly.
family.
So it is, it's a
So.
real gift to have that fair, for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Pick one thing of growing up in Orange, like what makes you really
Orange
happy that you
itself
grew
or
up
where we
our
grew up?
farm.
here? Where you grew up.
Oh, the dirt. My hands in that dirt. I the smell of the dirt
Yeah.
and just helping plant.
Mhm.
And then how about Orange? In Orange, like for growing up in Orange as a community.
It was definitely a community.
Yeah.
Yeah, through school, through the
Friends,
activities, through
friends,
friends,
Yeah.
and joining in the events that Orange had. It was always,
Yeah, I mean Little League too.
Yeah.
The boy.
it just extended the family. It was just, it wasn't friends. It was more, you went to school, but
families,
then it all.
outside families too.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, which we're still in contact
Yes.
with. It's
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
bringing you to the point to give you that opportunity to grow your family even more. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Able to do that. That's awesome.
And I love
Yeah.
coming back to Orange.
Good. Well, we
I
love
do.
you coming.
very proud to say
Definitely.
Yes.
I grew up in Orange.
Yes, so
Oh.
am I.
Very much so.
Definitely.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That's really nice. We had another woman, the same thing. She goes, I don't live in Orange now, but I call Orange my home.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
It is. It's our
Yeah.
roots.
excellent.
Yes.
And that's it. Roots are good.
Yes.
They are. Good deal.
Awesome.
I loved it.
Thank you
We didn't stutter too much on any of this that we needed.
I got fidgety, I'm sorry.
No, you
With the
guys
papers,
were
just
awesome.
because you were doing.